Welcome back, everyone, to CNN Sunday Morning. Egypt's President Mohamed Morsi, he has been praised around the world for playing a central role in the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, but now he's also the target of massive protests. Tens of thousands have demonstrated in Cairo's Tahrir Square and other cities, denouncing President Morsi as a dictator. All this for a new set of orders and declarations he made, basically giving himself absolute power, at least until Egypt's constitution is finished. So who exactly is the man behind all of this praise and protest? We've been learning so much more about him and seeing so much more of him as we've watched the talk of Israel and Gaza this week. So let's bring in Nadia Bilchik to talk a little bit more about Mohamed Morsi. So he actually wasn't even his party's first choice, right?
Correct, he wasn't. The person who was a man known as el-Shaطir, and mainly because Morsi is not particularly charismatic. He's been called a dull technocrat and sometimes a spare tire. But because of various technicalities as to who was eligible, he was one of the few who was eligible to run for president.
And he studied in the United States?
Yes.
I mean, we know a little bit about him, but not a whole lot. And that's true?
Yes, correct. He got his doctorate in engineering from the University of Southern California. Although yesterday when I was watching Notre Dame beat the Trojans, I thought, I wonder if he's watching. Probably not. But yes, he went to University of Southern California. But bear in mind that most high-ranking Egyptian officials would have and will have studied abroad. So that's not unusual. Also, USC has a huge contingent of foreign students. And 2 of his 5 children were born in the United States.
What about where he stands on the issues? I mean, he's pretty conservative.
He is a religious conservative. He was heard to say he would never, ever elect or particularly vote for either women or non-Muslims. However, 2 of his aides have been a woman and a Coptic Christian. So he really is positioning himself as a moderate, but he is fundamentally a conservative Muslim. Although, remember, he also denounced his membership from the Muslim Brotherhood. So interesting as to where he stands on the issues.
Right, and now the judges are threatening to strike because of this so-called power grab. What has he said about this in Egypt now?
Well, he is saying what I'm trying to do is dismantle the last vestiges of Mubarak and military power. He says this is the only way that I can do it in order to let the democratic constitution pass through. So that is certainly his response for why he's doing this. But as you know, very controversial.
And you and I mean, we talked quite a bit about Mubarak when all of that was going on. He seems like a very different leader, but it's interesting to see them protesting and calling him a dictator as well.
Well, Mubarak was a very charismatic leader, and as we know, Morsi is supposed to be quite uncharismatic. However, if you look at his actions over the last week and what he's been able to achieve, there's anything but dull in how he worked with Secretary Clinton to broker this peace.
Yeah, I think he impressed a lot of people.
He did, and surprised people. Obama himself said he was so impressed by his pragmatism. And he certainly established himself as a power broker on the world stage.
Right, right. It's been interesting to watch, certainly. Nadia, thank you. Appreciate that.